Hi everybody, Ben here from Artless Ordinary. So, I am going to do a flip cup in pink and white. So, I haven't done the pink one yet, so I thought I'd give it a go. So, I'm using my old Global Magenta, which is actually a slightly different magenta to the new Eraldo di Polo one. So, this is all I've got left of this. I'm trying to use up the older paints. So I have magenta, which has got 60 grams paint to 60 grams of my Elmer's clear glue, pouring medium. So it's 70% Elmer's clear glue, 30% water. And that's the one I use, just in case people were wondering. I find it difficult to find the glue oil at the moment. So I have been using the clear glue and I quite like it. So I've got the magenta. I have pinky, which is an opaque pink. And this one is either transparent or semi-transparent. The old Globals didn't actually tell you what they were. And I have 2 cups of white. And they're all 60 grams paint to 60 grams pouring medium. But because I've got 2 whites, there's 2 of them. So altogether there is 120, 240, about 480 grams of paint pouring medium mixture. So that is that. Now, where did I get this one from? Down here. And I'm going to add 4 drops of helmars silicone oil into it. So I got this from Capriola Shabby Chic. I don't know how to pronounce things. I'm going to add 4 drops in each. And I stir it in very well. So a few people have asked how come I get really lots and lots of cells. And that's because I put it in just before I start pouring. And I stir it in super well. So that is how I do it. But you can always test it out and try different things for yourself to see if you get different results. So and I'm putting 4 drops in every cup, including the whites. Alrighty. And stir it in well. So I didn't have a chance to make up these paints earlier in the day, so there is a few air bubbles in it. Can't help that. If you make it up earlier in the day, then, or earlier than night before and cover it up, then you get less air bubbles. This seems to be a little bit more full because I had to add a little bit more paint because that magenta was a little bit thinner than all the rest. So I'm hoping it doesn't affect it too much, because even now that I'm stirring it, I can feel that these are thicker than that magenta. So the thicker you have your paint, the more likely your cells are going to stay rounded. But it also means that you may get smaller cells because they're a bit harder to push the paint out of the way. So lucky last, 4th one. So what I tend to do when I make up my pouring medium, so I've got one here. So this one here I made up about an hour ago. You can see at the top it's a bit frothy. So what I do is I put this on the scales and I just keep going until I had 2.1 kilograms. And then I added 900 water. And then I give it a super shake, keep shaking it for a few minutes. And then I leave this to settle for a few days. I didn't use this one. I used the rest of what I already had, and then I decided to mix one up, and I always write a date that I mix it on, so I know if it starts getting thicker, it may need a tad more water, because sometimes the water actually in them dries out in time. I haven't really had to so far, but it's best if you put dates on it anyway. So that's how I make up my pouring medium, and then I just pour it from that into this, so it's easier to control when I'm putting it in the cups. And if anyone wants to see all that stuff, you got to let me know, because I'm not always too sure if people want to see things or don't. It's hard to always tell if I'm over giving information or not. And it's dry. My beautiful purples and silver, so I'm trying not to get it to touch those, swipe. Super happy with this. It's on my MDF board. So I just gesso it on the back to there, and then I gesso the sides and the top, and then when I do my pour, I just pour over it. So these are looking really good. So that's going over there, and I am actually going to do another one of those soon in a different color again. I try to do different colors in them and work out which ones I like and which ones could actually go with having more like mix in the colors, because so far I've tried to keep them similar. Now I'm just looking for something. Where did I put them? I brought some more cups. Oh, I brought some more cups to do my flip cups in, which are clear. And I put them somewhere like I do. And I can't see them right for the moment. Oh, they're right behind me. Typical. I got a feeling they're a little bit big. I might leave them for the moment and just stick with these ones that I've got. They are a little bit bigger than those. So these are going to be quite full by the end of it. Now I'm going to try and do 3 layers of each colour. But we'll see how I go. Just give it one last stir. Okay. Now we try and layer it. So the good thing about when I do the pinks or the colours and whites, which I have been doing lately, is it kind of keeps them pink, but the white gives it, mixes with the 2 pinks. Well, with this one, it will mix with the 2 pinks that I've got and make a whole bunch of different shades of pink, which will be really interesting to see. And I've been trying to just do like a little bit of a simple series where I'm not over mixing lots of different colours. Sometimes when you mix a lot of colours, you kind of get a lot of over mixing of the colours. So I'm hoping that this is just going to give me a nice simple pink, white flip cup with lots of nice cells in it. Yeah. And that's it. You just got to have fun. You just got to go, you know what, tonight I feel like doing this colour, and then you just do it. I'm all about enjoying myself. I like my job, but like normal, some days you come home and you go, I could do with a bit of de-stressing. And that's what the painting's all about. having a chance to relax and forget about the day a little bit and enjoy what you like doing. So I think my hardest part sometimes is working out what I'm actually going to paint for the night, or what colours I'm going to use, because you don't want to do too many light colours when you do with the white flip cups, because the white does lighten the colours that you do. So you don't want to do one in just yellows, because it will kind of not really be too noticeable. I would like to do one in yellows and just see how it goes, but I'll probably do that on a small test canvas. So I've got these, I do most of my pours on 16 by 20s. I like the size. It's big enough that it's an interesting size that you can see details, but at the same time it's not too big that it's costing me a fortune, because I do a painting every day mostly. So sometimes you just got to go, all right, I'm just going to do this. But I do have some 8 by 10s. I don't use them as much anymore. The quality of them is all right, but these 12 by 16s I think are actually better quality, and I like the size more. Like, you can fit them in a house easier without them looking too little. I do like the swipe on the MDF board sizes. They're 300 by 600, so ultimately they're 1 foot by 2 foot. They're actually a really good size. I am going to do one on a large canvas soon instead of an MDF board. I don't know what size I have the canvas at actually. I've got it. I was waiting until I felt more comfortable with my pours before I used it. So it's up the top there. It'd probably be a good, probably 30 or 40 centimeters by 90 or something. Quite a good size. So that will be a fun one to do. I'm just trying to work out what colors. So that's why when I do the MDF boards, I'm working out which colored one I like best, so then I can do that on the canvas. Alright, so I know this part is boring to some people, but it's good to show what I do from start to finish, because you can always fast forward through bits you don't like, but I can't add things that I don't, people can't watch things that I don't record, so I might as well record it, and people that don't want to see it can skip, and people that do want to see it can actually have a look and see how it's done. So hopefully I don't bore people too much when I do this, but it does give me a chance to actually talk about the art, techniques, sizes of canvases, any other little special tricks that I do. It does actually give you a good chance to think and chat, because sometimes when you're pouring, your brain's thinking so much of what you're doing, you can't actually chat and give the details as easy as when you're just putting paint in a cup. That's quite a simple thing to do. And now that it has started to warm up a little bit, my artwork is actually drying quicker, which is a huge relief. It was getting a little bit frustrating having everything taking so long to dry. I ran out of room because some things were taking 4 or 5 days, and when I do a painting each day, that didn't leave me with a lot of space to have them in the drying area. Alrighty. So I'm going to swap the order of these cups. that there and that there. So I usually put the one that's the shortest in height in the middle, and the two taller ones on the outside. So it's a little bit easier that way. Okay, make sure the camera's recording. Yep, counter's going. Now it's time to flip. Actually, time to put gloves on first. Then I can flip. I always find best to put the gloves on just in case it starts going over the edge and you have to start tilting. You're already prepared for it. So, 1, 2, 3. Line them up where you want them. Leave them for a minute for the paint to settle down. And yeah, that should have worked out quite well. But I am really glad everyone's been enjoying my videos. I'm super happy about it. I've nearly done 100 videos. How many have I actually done now? 90, 94, 95. Let me check. I've got my YouTube here. I've done 94. So this is video number 95. So I couldn't believe how many I've done so quickly. I'm super thrilled. The first ones I had a few teething problems with, like working out how to do the camera and how to shrink the files, because it mirrored them and flipped them. It was doing strange things, but I've got all that sorted out. I've got a better lighting situation. Soon I hopefully will have my art room, and then I'll have things better again. So yeah, it's a work in progress. So that's the fun part. Only hard thing is I don't have air conditioner, so once summer comes along, I don't know if that's going to be a bit of a challenge or not. But here we go. Yep, this paint's thick because a lot of it's in the cup. Lots of cells already. And I haven't even done anything to it. Usually with the thicker mix I don't get as many cells at the beginning, but when I torch I get a lot more. Okay. Yeah, definitely felt heavy. Oh well. So I probably could have made my mixture a little bit thinner. It's sometimes hard to know. The cup's still heavy after tipping too. So a little bit over that edge, then the rest over this corner. So these corner bits and bits that I put on the edges and the bottom, they get poured off when you tilt. So it doesn't matter that they look a bit streaky. Some people quite like the streakiness. I like how other people have done it. I'm a bit nervous to do it myself. I'm worried I'm going to mess up my painting that I've done. So I think I don't know what they're actually calling it. I forget all the terminology that people use when they like get paint from the bottom of the cup and kind of wind it through. It's something I'll try one day. So this is going to be a little bit harder because I didn't do that middle cup very well. So the edges are a lot further down than the middle is. And a lot more cells came up early. Wasn't quite expecting that. Okay, I'm going to have to go over this way, and then I'm going to move it back and go over this corner. Slightly different how I normally do it, but that's alright. So because these cells came up earlier, I'm going to get some of these big cells that are going to be a little bit stretchy. Doesn't matter. That's why it's fluid art, because you want every piece to look a little bit different. If you wanted every piece to be identical, it doesn't always work out that way. So I'm going to start going over this corner now. Now the paint is thick. It's moving slowly and a little bit can just tell by the way it's moving. The more you do pause, and especially a certain type of technique, the more you kind of learn the behavior of the paint. So I believe this could have been made a little bit thinner, but it's not too thick that it's not working. I just think it could have been a little bit thinner. Now I'm just pulling the paint down to the middle. Okay, just going to check my corners. It's more the bottom of the corner that you gotta, there, that you just got to check on. That should be good. Alright, I'm going to get my gloves off. It's definitely pink, isn't it? So I'm hoping when the cells come up, I'll get a bunch of white ones and a bunch of dark red ones. And if you do a painting like this and you're not that keen with it, that's when use the stuff that is in the cup to do a line or two and practice something different. So sometimes when I made a stuff up of a painting, I would put something there and then do a swipe over it and see how that turned out. Didn't always work, but you learn by doing that. And if it's not something you like, you probably would never put it on the wall anyway. So what's the harm in trying to do a different technique? Do a balloon kiss or something if you've never done balloon kisses before. I've only done it once, and every time, well, the time I did it, it was a disaster. But if I didn't like this after I torched it, I could try a balloon kiss and see if I get it any better. If not, I will learn from doing that. Because each time you do something, you do learn. So, whoops. This blowtorch has a little bit of a mind of its own at times. So we're heating it up from a height. I'm hoping that we can get some of these bubbles popped. And that it might bring up some cells. So I start from a distance and then work my way closer if I'm not getting the cells that I need. Oops. See, occasionally you get a little bit close and you get a bunch of cells pop up. So you got to take it a little bit easy. I got to tell myself that too. So my blowtorch is going a little bit lighter on the flame. So I'm just going a little bit closer. Okay, I think that's about it. So I am getting cells, even though spots don't look like it. Like through here, I am getting darker pink cells, but they're not the dark magenta ones. They're just darker of the pinky ones, where this is a bit whiter. So it's not doing too bad. There's a couple of big cells that came up early, but I wasn't going to be able to get rid of them, like this one here. But again, if I want to, you can't have every piece looking the same. So I am getting real in there. There's beautiful cells. I think the mix could have been slightly thinner, and I would have got cells that came up a little bit bigger. But again, each one you need them each one to be different, and you can do the same one again, slightly different, and you could get a whole different painting from it, which is really awesome. It's the fun part about it. But I've got nice dark magenta ones in here. Got magenta running through here and there, down here, across to this corner, and a few up here. And then I've got white ones coming up inside the lighter pink. I've got a couple of ringed ones here where there's dark, light, more cool ones, but a lot of them have actually come up a little bit smaller than I thought they would, and I think it's just the thickness of the paint. But next time I'll do a little bit thinner, and I could get something completely different. And even if I layered them differently, I'd get something completely different. So do that. If you do something and you're like, I love these colors, but it's not as good, change the consistency, mix up the color. Like instead of putting the dark one at the bottom and then white, then the other pink, then white, do the lighter pink at the bottom, then go white and darker in the middle. So you swap it around and you will get different results. So this is looking pretty alright. I was thinking I was going to get more white areas and not just have the whole thing very pink. So I've got a couple of spots of white like there, and lines and some of the cells, but I was really expecting to have a lot more areas of white. But again, that's it. You just got to do it and see what you get from it. It's probably a little bit too pink for my bedroom, but it would probably look nice in a bathroom, or even my spare room or guest room or something. Alrighty, so I'm going to do more scraping once it's off camera, probably for the next 10 to 15 minutes. I just check it every 5 minutes and scrape it until you don't see more dripping off. Let's go down for a close-up. So there we go, definitely a pink painting. So let's go down here and look at these cool focus dark cells. They're really cool. And see, we got different shades of pink. We got white ones, more dark over there. Come up through here and you got dark cells, well, dark pink cells coming up in the white ones, in the lighter pink. But look how small where are we? Some of these are tiny, tiny little cells, but they've got lots of little details all through them. Over to this side. More dark ones next to light ones. So it's all looking pretty cool. Alrighty everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let's go back up. I hope you enjoyed this. Like normal, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't already, like, comment, and I will see you again tomorrow for another one. Alright, have a great night. Bye.